it's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock sharp, I was supposed to start, so I start. My name is Bert Hofman. I'm the director of the East Asian Institute, and I welcome you all to this event in the context of the Korea Weeks, and it's weeks with, it's multiple weeks, and that, I guess, signifies the importance of Korean culture, the growing importance of Korean culture all around Asia. The topic of today is very close to my heart because, well, my colleagues know that I'm actually, yes, I'm the director of the East Asian Institute, but a far more important role is that I'm the husband of a film producer who just, and I don't want to plug, but who just premiered her Netflix series in the Busan Film Festival just 2 weeks ago. It's called Gades Kretek, or Cigarette Girl, in case you, November 2, you want to be glued to the television. But in that context, I've heard a lot about Korean film industry. And yes, directors are important, producers are important, but what is also very important is the whole approach that government took as part of its industrial development somewhere in the 90s, where they said, okay, so what's going to be next? What's going to be next after first the light industry, then the heavy industry, then the electronics? What are we going to do next? Well, one of those next things was film. And so the government has since then basically taken film as an industrial policy project, which is quite, it's been very successful, obviously. I mean, I know we all on Netflix, it's all Korean now. Actually, no, for my wife, it's all Korean. For me, there's still a little bit of a variety. But the presence and dominance, and increasingly beyond Asia, the renowned quality and appeal of Korean film, that is not all. That, of course, is the great marriage, I'd say, of the government's policy and the enormous talent that Korea has. Yes, everybody knows Parasite, but there's really so much more. But Parasite really signifies something. First of all, of course, it was very important that there was, that I almost said a Nobel Prize, but it's an Oscar for Parasite. But to me, it really signifies the core of Korean film, i.e., it's very much a local film, very localized, but on a global theme of inequality, of class warfare, of tensions between different strata of society, which is a global theme, and I think that's why it appeals so much around the world. For today, I have a lot of people to thank, but first of all, I'd like to thank Ambassador Choi for coming and for honoring us with his presence. I'd like to thank Mr. Hu Shumin, who, again, I keep talking about my wife, obviously, because Anjuma, his big breakthrough, my wife is making an Indonesian adaptation of that as we speak. Ms. Chung Yo-jung, one of the people that really makes the industry happen, a film director. And then, of course, our speaker, Dr. Park Hee Seong, who will take a more analytical view as we are an institute, as we are a research institute, on the Korean film. So the sequence of Korean film success and the future of Korea-Asia cooperation. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you will enjoy the program. Let me now ask Ambassador Choi Hoon to come to the stage. I will not introduce him elaborately because he has a bio in the program, but I would like to say that he has been a great partner to the East Asian Institute, and I think we have achieved some in the last couple of years. The Korea Center is something quite unique for Southeast Asia, and I see a great future for it, not least because Dr. Lam Peng-ar here is the director of the Institute. So thank you so much for joining us once again. Look forward to your welcoming words.
Yeah, thank you, Bert. Good morning, everyone, especially the Professor Bert Hofman, Director of East Asian Institute, Mr. Shuming. So Good to see you again. Director of the Singaporean South Korean movie, joint production movie, Azumma, Miss Chang Yu-jung, director of box office hits, Finding Mr. Destiny, and Honest Candidate. Dr. Park Hee Seong, manager of Korean Film Council, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. Last October, as part of the inaugural Korea Weeks, which is an annual festival consisting of existing Korea-related events, the Korean Embassy partnered with Korea Center to host a seminar, South Korea's soft power and its foreign policies in the Asian region. Today, I'm pleased to have another insightful moment regarding Korea's soft power, in particular through a conversation about Korean movies. My gratitude goes to Director Hofman and Korea Center staff who joined us and rendered their cooperation to celebrate this year's Korea Weeks. I also thank Dr. Park, Director He, and Director Zhang for taking time of their busy schedule to join us today. I heard from Director Zhang. He canceled a trip to Brunei and joined this event. Yes, thank you very much. Mr. Orson Welles, who was an American actor as well as a director, said that cinema has no boundary. It is a ribbon of dream. I think this phrase rightly reflects the limitless possibilities of movies. From whimsical fantasies to sci-fi thrillers, we have grown up watching movies that stretch our imagination and dreams infinitely. On a translational and global level, films that can strengthen friendship, understanding, and cultural exchanges among nations and play a role in facilitating a better world for humanity. Many countries around the world has invested heavily in policy considerations to win the hearts and minds of the global audience through the so-called soft power. That a single shot of movie that's the global power of persuasion can have a much greater impact than any soft power policy. This year marks the third year since I was appointed Korean ambassador to Singapore. In the past 3 years, I have met many Singaporeans who have expressed their heartfelt interest and love for the Hallyu wave, from K-pop to K-dramas and films. They mention how this passion has translated into interest in other aspects of Korea, such as our history and traditional culture and cuisine, etc. Hence, I am grateful to those who are involved in Korean filmmaking for their contribution to boosting Korea's charm and image. The efforts of this private sector, along with the overwhelming support from the public, have shaped a more welcoming and favorable environment for government officials to thrive in overseas. So, what is the secret behind the immense success of Korean movies? Dr. Park will expound on this later, but I'd like to share an interview with Min Young Kim, Netflix Vice President for Asia Pacific content, on the viral phenomena that is Squid Game, framed within the context of fun Korean children's games with simple rules but deadly high stakes. The show's core message about social injustice, Bob as Bob just mentioned, is about how the Parasite gained a huge reputation, huge fans from all over the world. It's like the show's core message about social injustice is one that is resonate very strongly with its audience outside of Korea. I believe that a star factor that makes Korean movies stand out is the unique element of humanity, emotion, and virtues reflected in them that can be emphasized with globally. Ladies and gentlemen, over the decades, Korea has transformed itself from the ashes of war into a strong democracy with a developed economy and a vibrant culture. Now, Korea intends to further increase its role and contribution in the region under the vision of being a global pivotal state. With a view to achieve this vision, President Yoon Suk-yeol launched a strategy for a free, peaceful, and prosperous Indo-Pacific region and the Korea-ASEAN Solidarity Initiative, or in short, KASI in short, KASI in short. Both of these policies stipulated the importance of cultural and youth exchange to promote mutual trust, friendship, and solidarity in the region. Korea-Singapore and Korea-ASEAN relations will further flourish through such exchanges and collaboration. I'd like to conclude my remarks with an old Korean saying, 아는 만큼 보인다, or you can only see as much as you know. I believe that today's dialogue on Korean film will be an opportunity to learn more about Korean movie industry and policies. I also expect that constructive discussion will be made on how to enhance mutual understanding and cooperation between the two countries through the film. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Choi, and thanks once again for joining us here and for your great partnership with the East Asian Institute. Without further ado, Mr. He Xiu-min, as we heard, well, he is the personification of Singapore-Korean cooperation in film with his great Anjuma director, but with much, much more. But I leave it to you and to the bio in the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bert. Good morning, Ambassador. Thank you to the Korean Center, East Asian Institute for having me this morning, and also for having Ajuma as the opening film for this year's Korean Film Festival. So Ajuma is a film that was very much inspired by my own mother here in Singapore. She's a huge fan of Korean drama. And for her, this world of Korean drama provides an escape. But also at the same time, I think she often identifies with a lot of the characters that she sees on television. And I think every time when I have to pitch the film for many years, when I tell them, oh, it's called Ajuma, and they would laugh. And then I tell them it's about a Singaporean auntie, our version of Ajuma, and she goes to Korea on a trip, and she gets lost, and it always elicited a lot of laughter, and people sort of felt a kinship or felt that they identify with it, and they go like, "Oh, that's my mom," you know. On my very first trip to Korea, I had won a prize with the film. I was developing it, and I took the money and I went on a tour. I joined a tour group with a group of Singaporean Ajumas to go to Seoul, and I wanted to see Seoul for the first time through their eyes, through their lens, and it was quite an unforgettable experience. But I forgot to tell them. I forgot to come up with a lie that it's a bit strange for this single 30-year-old man to be in a tour group just with group of Singaporean middle-aged women, but they embraced me, and a lot of introduction to their kids, the daughters that they've been trying to pair me up with, but that's the price you pay. But subsequently, my trips to Seoul were always welcoming. The support I received from the Seoul Film Commission to develop my script, the support I received from the Korean Film Council, to eventually make the film. It's the testament to how much support I got to make this film. Ajuma is my first feature-length film, and often people would tell me like, you are setting yourself up for so much obstacles to shoot a film in a language that you don't speak, to shoot in winter. I was very adamant about it being in winter, and I come from Singapore. We don't have any other season besides summer here. But for me, these obstacles were an opportunity for me to work in a space, in a cinematic space that I've long admired. Korean cinema I've been a huge admirer of Korean cinema, and to be able to work very closely with my Korean cast and crew was the best lesson I could get for my first feature film. The incredible depth that they bring into the craft of storytelling, the importance they place in literature, the desire to understand humanity, I think is what makes Korean cinema such an admirable films in the world cinema. And to make a cross-cultural co-production of this scale was to really be in new uncharted waters. We had to figure out a lot of new things, but to be honest, this ride was long, but it was completely worth it. I think to premiere the film also in Busan International Film Festival was, for me, across a core memory. It was an incredible experience for the audience in Busan to celebrate the film in full, and that was what I needed. And I cannot forget the kindness that they've extended to me and my team. And it's been a year since we traveled around the world with the film, and it's the first time I met Ambassador Choi at our premiere in Singapore. But I feel like we've traveled around the world, but we've come full circle by opening the film back again at the National Gallery next week to open the Korean Film Festival. But also Ajuma will open in cinemas in Korea next month. And I look forward to sharing this love letter to mothers everywhere, to my mom, and to Korean drama and to Korean cinema. And I hope the audience in Korea will enjoy the film. And I hope you guys will have a fantastic Korean Film Week and Korean Week ahead. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. So we talked about, well, my wife always talks about the talent, i.e. the people that make film happen. And of course, it's the directors, but maybe less spotted talents are the writers. And they're incredibly important. Now, having a writer and director in one, of course, signifies that is one of the central people of film. And Ms. Chung Yo-jung is with us here today. She's one of the most renowned directors of Korean film, and more especially of musical, which is one of my favorite types of film. I said her bio is, again, it's in the program, but I would like to highlight that she was the creative director of the opening of the Pyeongchang Olympics and the executive director of the closing ceremony of that same Olympics. So I think that signifies that she's a national treasure. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hello. I'm director Chang Yoo-jung. Thank you for inviting me to this event. I'm familiar with this kind of official position in Korea, but it is first time in Singapore, so I'm a little bit nervous. I want to cut the first tail well, but I don't know. Anyway, I really love Singapore. Actually, I've been here more than 10 times, just one years, because my family living in here. And even I have, here's my long-term card. Yeah. Yes, I have a long-term card, and it's quite convenient to go to the airport. Yes, really nice. And yeah, because I don't need to queuing anyway. Anyway, so I've been to quite a lot of time Marina Bay. I'm not sure how many times I opened my mouth in front of a lion and how many times I climbed to the top of the Marina Bay. But anyway, it was so nice. Thank to you. I have a deep interest in Singapore history, culture, and open and current affairs. Anyway, on November 16th, Korea will match its first preliminary World Cup, primary match for the 2026 World Cup against Singapore for the first time in 33 years. And I'm a little bit curious about who to support me. So I'd rather not watch it. Anyway, it will be better. Yeah. Anyway, Singapore is country with lots of unexpected story, from the lion sightseeing of the Prince Mali to the war story about Raffles Hotel and the romantic birth of Singapore sling. Even I bought quite a lot of things about Singapore sling. It's so nice drinking and sorry, love everything. Anyway, there are plenty of the fun story that the people around the world will love. Anyway, Singapore is also home to a wide range of nationality and races, but I cannot find any racism when I've been here, and even just a little arguing or lots of arguing we can find in another country. So I think it's kind of the power. We can mix and we can make a harmony in Singapore. So Singapore has a unique personality that can, like from the diasporic environment, diasporic environment, and something with unchanged, even those something with unchanged things. I saw that one from the movie. It's from the Ajuma. There are the like kind of
something unchangeable, something that you can still understand, even though it's a different language, something that can be transferred through the body language and just by watching.
I saw Ajuma in Chinese, but I know just one sentence about Chinese, Ting Pudong. I don't know anything about that. But Park Hee Seong, Dr. Park told me it's possible to understand. Even you cannot understand Chinese, but I cannot believe. But anyway, I don't have any chance to find the English subtitle or something like this. So I saw it, and suddenly I found I'm here. Okay, I cried. Yeah, cried in front of my friends. Anyway. Because when I see that, 뭐라고 해야 되지? 제가 sorry, my English is so poor. So, 그 부분, 잠깐만. 네. At some point, I found myself crying. The scene where Hong Yi-pang, who comes from Singapore, who cannot see the snow, and she is really happy, like a child, and get in something like this. I can imagine. I can guess because my mom, she is living in southern part of Korea, and it's quite difficult to see the snow like once a year, sometimes nothing. So she really like snow, to see the snow, something like this. And they sometimes she came to Korea in my town's hall, as we can see the snow quite a lot. So after that, I mean, every time when when she saw the snows, she looks like a child, like Hong Hee Pang. So I contact with that. So anyway, so I thought maybe happiness doesn't mean winning a lottery or becoming like a 10 million movie director. I'm not. Maybe it's because I know the miracle things that happen to anybody who get something that can't have a chance. It's broken English, sorry. Anyway, it was a so nice time to see the really great scene, especially Chong Dong-hwan and Hong Hee-pang. They are separated in the car. They cannot understand each other, but I can feel maybe human meeting and sharing the heart and heart have nothing to do with the face color, culture, custom, history. And I realized when the way I realized it while I listening to it in Chinese. It's quite ironic, but I can feel really fun and it's kind of emotional, even I can understand. Actually, I can understand it's just, I think 50%, but anyway, I'm here with, because of this really great and beautiful warm joint film. And I want to say it's really nice. And then it's probably really, really great start. Maybe I think there is probably no director who loves Singapore like me, because I go back and like 10 times, 1 year anyway. And today, this is my first time to be in NUS. NUS is one of the dream university. So all the mother allowed the doors wanted to send their children to here. Actually, my family, my family, including me, we doesn't often tell our children to study very hard, but I think I changed my mind because of today. That's so nice. Anyway, I think I can. I really great to that there is a Korean center in such a great university. And I sincerely hope that the kind of exchange will like this continuously. And I want to say thank you to Hofman and Korean Film Council. Yeah. I know in Korean very many times I said, but in English it is the first time. Anyway, because I think it is a really great first tape. Cut the first tape well. So anyway, how about me? It was good. The first tape was good. Yeah, it's my first time to say something to audience in English. So it made me so, yeah, I didn't expect to do myself, but my translator is here, but she had a sick, so I wanted to help her just a little bit, but I started and I cannot stop. I wanted to change. Anyway, so thank you so much. And I hope to meet Korean artists who really love like me, and Singapore really like Singapore like me, and the Singaporean artist who likes Korean. I hope we can meet continuously because of you and everybody. Thank you so much.
So COFIC is very much at the center of the government support for the film industry, and is therefore critical in understanding the secret to the success, if you want. So we're delighted to have Dr. Park Hee Seong here, who is the manager of the international department, as I said. She studied film, graduated at the Pusan National University with a bachelor's degree in Chinese language and literature, and later received a master's and doctor's degree in film from Dongguk University in Seoul. She joined COFIC very early on in her career in 2001. And as part of her career, she also organized international Korean film festivals internationally, and particularly in China. And she's also lectured on Korean film at the Seoul National University, the Korea National University of Arts. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we look forward to your lecture. I think Dr. Park will talk about 30 minutes, so that every question you'd like to ask, we can afterwards, we can turn to that. Dr. Park, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Park Hee Seong, working at the Korean Film Council. The Korean Film Council is an organization under the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism that establishes and supports Korea's film policy. It is called KOFIC, COFIC for short. I'm very happy to be here today to talk with you about the development of Korean cinema and cooperation between Korea and Asia. I also want to express my deepest gratitude to Korea Center EAI, the National University of Singapore, and the Korean Embassy in Singapore for providing this opportunity. I have worked at the COFIC for 22 years in various roles. In particular, I have experience in research and work related to exchanges between Korea and the Asian region. Today, rather than lecturing you, I would like to share my experiences and thoughts with you. Recently, you may have encountered a lot of Korean audiovisual content, including Korean movies. What movie have you seen? And OTT series, very famous. Squid Game, yeah, there have been many. The Korean film industry has grown significantly over the past few years. In particular, the global popularity of Korean movies is reaching its peak as we enter the 2020s. I give you quiz. Who contributed the most to the success of Korean films? Anyone who answers the quiz during my presentation today will receive a small prize I prepared in Korea. Anyone? Yeah. Oh, no. It's not the answer that I have prepared. Yeah. And then CJ, yes, money, yeah, money is good. Yeah. Oh, you are so smart. Yeah, I will give you hint. It's not an individual, but a group of sorts. The word that starts with A. Oh, yes. I give you. Then, first, I want to acknowledge the Korean audience. In 2022, the market size of Korean films ranked 7th in the world. In 2018 to 2019, before COVID-19, it was in 4th place. Let's look at the average admissions per capita. The number of viewings per person is the annual admissions divided by the population. This figure shows how many times a person goes to the theater per year. This figure even includes children who don't go to theaters to watch movies. As you can see, Korea had more than 4 times the admissions before COVID-19 in 2018-2019. This figure ranks first in the world. However, it fell significantly during the COVID-19 period. Singapore also records relatively high figures in this category. Korean audiences also enjoy watching movies in theater more than any other country. Therefore, it is rare among countries with a market size within the top 10 in the world, where theater revenue accounts for 20 to 80% of the total income earned by a single film. Conversely, theater profits are at most 30% of the total in countries where movies are usually significant. That's not all. Foreign filmmakers attending the Busan International Film Festival, held every October, admire the fact that almost all films are sold out, and many audiences enthusiastically ask questions in conversation with the director. This photo shows the closing ceremony of the Busan Film Festival on the 14th of this month. There were many concerns this year as the Busan Film Festival experienced some internal strife, but it still attracted 140,000 viewers. Based on this audience passion, dozens of large and small film festivals are held annually in Korea, including the Busan Festival, Jeonju Film Festival, Busan Fantastic Film Festival, Women's Film Festival, DMG Documentary Film Festival, etc. The love and passion of Korean audiences for movies is the first secret to the development of Korean films. Then, one more quiz. So who is the second contributed to the development of Korean film? Yeah. Who else? What about Park Hee Seong? Me? No. Yeah. This is also is not individual. Yeah, it is also some kind of group. Yeah, the start of the word is C. Yeah, directors and cinematographer. Yeah, crew. Yeah, and yeah, crew. Yeah, creators. Yeah, creators. Yeah, creators. Yeah. Money is important. Yeah. Screenwriter and directors, all of the creators, yes, attend to the making film. Yeah. The second, of course, is the creators. Here, the creators refer to people who put their creativity into making a movie. It is not easy to make a stable living while working in the Korean film industry. So much so that COFIC's long-standing task is to improve compensation for film staff. Despite such circumstances, Korean creators such as screenwriters, directors, cinematographers, writing directors, and art directors have led to a renaissance of Korean films. The acting skills of Korean actors are also outstanding. VFX technology, special effects, unique props, and action directing are also at a high level, and you have actively participated in domestic and Asian films produced in China and Hong Kong. Let's take a quick look at the showreel of Dexter Studio, which has participated in several films, including the Chinese film The Wandering Earth. How about that? Korea's excellent film talent also participated in the production of the OTT series, contributing to the global reputation of Korean audiovisual content. Director Hwang Dong-hyuk, who won the Emmy Award for Best Director for Squid Game, is a filmmaker who has written and directed Silence, The Fortress, and Miss Granny, starting with the 2007 film My Father. In Hellbound and DP, the main staff, including the director and writer, are all creators who started in movies. In this way, Korean film talent is the root of Korean audiovisual content and is leading the development of Korean film and the global success of contents such as OTT series. More keys. Yeah. The secret to the development of Korean films so far has been, first, the passion of the audience, and second, the excellence of the creators, and the third, what is the third secret? To oh yeah, very similar. Yes. The third secret is an active film policy. So, yeah, it was.
We've always been there for
Yeah.
you.
Take a look.
From celebrating special days with your loved ones to creating unforgettable moments in our daily lives, to connect the world through film. We have cherished every moment with you, hoping for you to enjoy healthier, richer film culture and your life full of wonder. We create history on and off the camera.
Since the water copy is good.
We give our wholehearted support to cinema. Now, Korean films ignite our pride and thrive across the globe. For your life full of joy from cinema, for our cinema heading towards a brighter future, Kofik will always be with you. Korean Film Council.
Yeah, it was in the 2000s that Korean films began to become known worldwide. In the late 1990s, censorship was eliminated in Korea, and the direction of film policy changed from regulation to support, giving freedom to the Korean film industry. In 1999, the Korean Motion Picture Promotion Association was transformed into the Korean Film Council, KOFIC. It was changed to a private sector-led system led by a 9-member committee composed of film experts. Since then, KOFIC has made great efforts to develop the film art and industry. At the same time, it is maintaining the arm's length principle of supporting, but not interfering. Currently, KOFIC provides supports at every stage of Korean film production, and we are sparing no effort to create a transparent and fair film ecosystem. However, in this way, the development of Korean film was not achieved solely through the contributions of one party or another. It was created by combining three parties: audiences who love movies, high-quality creators, and policies that support these two. However, Korean theater have also recently been in a recession due to COVID-19 and have not fully recovered even after the pandemic. Meanwhile, giant platforms like Netflix dominate the world with movie streaming services. In the past, Hollywood movies dominated theaters worldwide, but now streaming media dominate not only the final distribution channels of audiovisual products, but also planning, production, and creation. Korea is also not free from this situation. As one of the ways to overcome this situation, I focus on cooperation between Korea and Asian countries. Why should Korea and Asian countries cooperate? First, to protect cultural diversity. Movies are part of our culture. Only a few countries consistently produce more than a certain number of domestic films. Korea and other Asian countries must work together to promote our unique film culture. Second, it is to protect the country's film industry and market. Most of the world's film markets are dominated by Hollywood films, making it difficult to grow one's own film industry. In Korea, the domestic market was almost saturated before COVID-19, making further growth difficult. Korea, which is ahead of other Asian countries, needs to take the lead in growing together with Asian countries by sharing its industrialization experience. Third, it is to protect creators. Many filmmakers in Asian countries, including Korea, create content for large platforms like Netflix. In reality, all profits from the contents belong to Netflix, and the creators' rights are violated. Korea and Asian countries must work together to protect these creators. No matter how well Korean movies do, the influence of Hollywood and large platforms remains enormous. It is hard to face it alone, so Korea must cooperate with Asian countries. So, how should Korea and Asia cooperate in the future? Korea's film policy must change first. I have been working as the Asia Regional Cooperation Manager within COFIC for a long time. Through my experience and that of COFIC, I looked for the future of cooperation between Korea and Asia. I have run the Asian Film Professionals Training Program for about 2 years since 2006. We invited young people in the field of film policy and industry in the Asian region and provide a 6-month-long program, including Korean language training, detailed explanations of the work of each department at COFIC, visits to major companies like CJ in the film industry, and visits to Korea's international film festivals. Through the program, which was fully paid for by COFIC, those young people learned about Korea's policies as well as the film industry and submitted a report at the end. Asian experts from China, Thailand, Indonesia, India, Vietnam, and the Philippines have participated in this program. This year, during the Cannes Film Festival, COFIC launched a consultative board with Asian film institutions and called it the Asian Film Alliance Network. The Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Mongolia, Taiwan, and Singapore participate. Mr. Alex Shihab Purnawan, who attended as the head of the Indonesian Film Board, was one of the participants in the training program that I just mentioned. I was surprised by what Alex told me 15 years after I met him. He said the Indonesian Film Board is modeled after COFIC. He also said, "You, Hee Seong, is like my mother when it comes to movies." I can tell you that moment was one of the most rewarding moments of the 20 years I spent at COFIC. And I felt now is the time to change the role and policy paradigm of COFIC, and human must be at the center. So far, COFIC's policy has been based on investment funds, the film works itself, and the film company, i.e., physical resources as the policy unit. We have also focused on producing immediate effects or results from our support within the year. In addition, the policy has targeted only films produced domestically in Korea. However, now is the time to change the policy unit to human resources and recognize the policy paradigm with a long-term vision. And it is time to broaden the definition of Korean film. This is a significant point, especially in exchanges with Asian countries. Let's listen to the words of Miss Ellen Lumpong, a Chinese citizen who participated in the first class of the Asian Film Professionals Training Program. Miss Lun is currently working as a film producer. One moment, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ellen Lumpong, a film producer from China. Actually, I majored in teaching Chinese as a second language in college, and I worked in education industry for 7 years after graduation. In 2006, I participated in Asian Film Professional Training course hosted by COFIC, which marked a significant turning point in my life. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Park for arranging such a wonderful, comprehensive training program on Korean cinema and film industry. This program provides me with in-depth knowledge of the history and landscape of Korean film industry, as well as the operational models and film production systems. Dr. Park also arranged visits mainstream Korean film companies like CJ Entertainment, Showbox, HQ, where I had the opportunity to meet many wonderful filmmakers there. After returning to China, I applied what I learned in Korea to my work. I produced a Chinese thriller with Jay William, a Singapore film star, Tong Liya, and Zhu as the lead. Since the director was fresh-faced, I assembled a strong crew around him, including the film editor, Mr. Han, who had worked on Korean films like very famous Furnace and Memories of Murder, and a cinema photographer with experience in shooting overseas. The film didn't perform well at the box office, but my experience and connections from COFIC allowed me to efficiently complete a low-budget film in China at that time. Nurturing contents in film industry can be challenging and lonely. Seeing how Hollywood culture from Korea influenced global culture during my time at COFIC has continuously inspired me to think about how Chinese content can competitive non-Chinese speaking audience and connect deeply with Korean filmmakers. Their every step forward motivates me even further. I co-founded Dino Films with a group of friends. We have fewer than 20 employees, but since 2018, we've invested and produced 4 films. We're currently preparing for 3 more films that will be in production later this year or next year. Friends in Singapore, it's a pleasure to meet you today, and I hope someday we will have the opportunity to work together on high creative content together. Thank you very much.
Nurturing talent from a long-term perspective is fundamental. The Korean Academy of Film Arts, operated by COFIC, celebrates its 40th anniversary This year, Bong Joon-ho, a member of the 11th class of the Academy, graduated in 1994 with the short film Incoherence. 25 years later, Bong Joon-ho won the Cannes Palme d'Or for Parasite and the Academy Awards for Best Director and Best Picture the following year. Incoherence already clearly contains director Bong Joon-ho's authorist characteristic. The movie is a delightful satire on the inner self and shame of the upper class of Korean society. Many of you have seen Parasite, so I will explain it with Parasite by watching a few scenes from Incoherence together. A total of 3 middle-aged men are the main characters of each episode. The first main character is a university professor. Let's look at key scenes from the second and third episode.
저 신문일이다. 그래도 너희 우유 하나 먹어라. 아침에 또
됐습니다.
소가 많은데 사양 말고.
고맙습니다.
에이 시원하다.
너구나? 매일 아침 없어진다 했더니 하나도 모자라 2개씩 처먹어? 내 걸리면 작살낼 참여했다 이 자식아.
저 아저씨가 주신 거예요.
아저씨? 안에서 주무신다 이 새끼야. 야 오늘부터 신문 넣지 마. 조선일보 사절이야.
아줌마, 저 아저씨가 주신 거라니까요.
오늘 진 챙겨야지.
아줌마, 아줌마, 아줌마. 에이씨.
헐. 아니 이보시오. 여기서 뭐 하고 있는 거요? 아니 잔디밭이 무슨 변소요? 미리 붙잡았으니까 망정이지. 뭐 진짜 썩이라도 했으면 그럼 그걸 누구더러 치우라고. 에? 그 밑에 지하실로 들어가서 일 보더라고. 이? 관리실 변소는 여기서 한참 머니까 이 양반이 일을 못 알아듣나. 빨리 일 보란 게. 에? 그러게 여기다 일을 봐가지고 신문지에 싸가지고 그대로 가지고 나서 저 쓰레기통에다 버리란 말이요. 우리도 밤에는 그렇게 쉬어. 저 멀쩡하게 생긴 사람이
니 내 누군 줄 아나? 빨리 전화 갖고 온나 임마. 관리소장 오락해라. 어이? 내가
참 안 됐다. 에휴.
여러분 안녕하십니까? 매주 이 시간 우리 사회의 현안에 대해서 토론하고 내일을 진단해보는 TV 긴급 토론 함께 생각해 봅시다의 이상엽입니다. 오늘은 지난 한 달간 마치 약속이나 된 듯이 연달아 터지면서 전 국민을 경악해 했던 이 반사회적인 흉악범죄를 통해서 이미 땅에 떨어진 우리 사회의 도덕성 문제를 총체적으로 진단해보는 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 구체적인 분석과 방향을 제시해 주실 전문가 여러분 오늘도 모셨습니다. 먼저 연세대학교 심리학과에서 사회심리학을 전공하시는 길지용 교수 나오셨습니다. 그 옆으로 조선일보 논설위원으로 계시는 허윤철 선생입니다. 끝으로 서부지청 부장검사로 계시는 변재석 검사 함께하셨습니다. 예, 고맙습니다.
It's been a long time since Bong Joon-ho graduated from the academy, but his work continues to show the influence of the academy. Developing talent and seeing the results take a long time, but the results are tremendous and long-lasting. And there is another area that needs to be changed in Korean film policy. We need to expand the concept of Korean films eligible for support. Nowadays, as borders and media boundaries are disappearing, it is not easy to define the nationality of a movie. Therefore, the concept of Korean films should be expanded, and all films in which Korean filmmakers participate should be considered for policy support. In particular, I believe that Asian films in which Korean filmmakers participate should be recognized as Korean films. I think there is a way to break away from the notion of distinction and derivation of differences and create a film ecosystem that coexists while acknowledging differences. 아줌마 directed by Ho Soo-min, who is here today, is the first Singapore-Korea co-production film. This work was selected as a Korea-ASEAN co-production project and received 100 million Korean won, approximately $90,000 from Copic. I felt proud that 아줌마 was screened at the Busan Film Festival and was selected as Singapore's entry for the Academy Awards in the Best International Film. Moreover, I was impressed that it was fully displayed on the back of the staff business card of IMDA, Singapore Film Commission, Singapore's film policy agency. I too was deeply moved after watching 아줌마. 아줌마 is a film that gives a warm look to minorities such as 아줌mas, middle-aged women like me, animals, gays, and widows. I am proud that Koping made a small contribution to such a good film. The second and third 아줌마 will emerge in the future and continue to be an excellent example of cooperation between Korea and Asia. That concludes my presentation today. Let's move on to questions and discussion. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Park. This was really very interesting and had a very good impression. And you illustrated your concepts very well with parts of movies. So without further ado, let's go to any questions or comments that anybody has. Yes, please. And please identify yourself before you...
I'm a postdoc fellow here at Kuan School of Public Policy, and my work is completely unrelated to Korean cinema. But I really enjoy watching Korean movies and watching Korean series. But something that I work in my work-related activities is the role of big technology companies, which you included in your presentation, the role of Amazon and Netflix and Disney Plus, which are global platforms, which are becoming more and more important, not just in Korea, but elsewhere as well. And you briefly touched upon some of the challenges that it poses for producers and creators. But if you could elaborate more on not just the challenge in the industry as such, but the contents that they demand, the differences between the native Korean cinema and the demand that are made by the platforms. Is there a change in the structure or content of the programs? Basically, what are the roles that these platforms have in the Korean industry? Thank you.
OTT에서 저희 코픽에게 무언가를 요구할 수는 없을 거고요. 그 OTT 플랫폼들이 최근에 이제 그 한국 영화인들을 고용해서 이제 그런 콘텐츠들을 만드는데 특별하게 요구되는 것이 있다기보다는 창작성을 많이 발휘를 해서 그 전 세계 그 관객들이 볼 수 있을 만한 것을 만들어 달라라는 거겠죠. 그래서 사실은 이제 코로나 때문에 힘들기도 하고 영화계가 여러 가지로 어렵다 보니 많은 영화인들이 이제 넷플릭스나 이런 플랫폼들에게 투자를 받아서 영화를 만들게 되는데요. 이제 저희가 주목하는 점은 오징어 게임도 마찬가지인데 저희 이제 한국 영화인들이 이렇게 영화나 그런 영상물을 만들 수 있는 기회를 많이 얻는 것은 굉장히 좋은데 그분들이 저희가 이렇게 키워놓은 창작자들을 이렇게 고용해서 활용만 할 뿐 뭔가 좀 더 저희 로컬의 어떤 산업에 기여하는 부분이 적다 보니 저희 코픽 같은 공기관에서는 넷플릭스에서 한국 영화인들과 함께 일을 하면서 많은 프로핏을 얻어가니 당신들도 여기 로컬 영화계가 조금 발전할 수 있는데 기여하기를 희망한다. 그런 차원에서 어떤 계약에 있어서도 단순히 그냥 개런티만 주고 끝내는 것이 아니고 이후에 그 컨텐츠가 굉장한 성공을 거두면 그거에 대한 수익도 창작자들에게 배분을 해 주시라. 그리고 창작자들을 키우는 것, 창작자들을 양성하는 데도 넷플릭스에서 기여를 좀 해달라라는 요구를 저희가 했고, 그래서 넷플릭스하고도 이제 MOU를 체결을 해서 그런 부분을 좀 함께하는 데에 저희가 이제 요구를 했죠. 넷플릭스가 이제 저희한테 요구를 했다기보다는 한국은 현재 이제 좀 그런 상황이라고 보시면 돼요.
I think I can talk here. Can you guys hear me? All right. I'm a loud person. Give me a moment. I think this is better. Yeah. Just to translate quickly, there is no specific requirements that Netflix or any kind of global OTT can request to COFIC. That is not possible. But one thing that COFIC have recognized throughout the past relationship between the global content creator is that they have been hiring the creators from the Korea, and what they really wanted from the Korean creators and publishers and directors were definitely creating something creative and then something unique that the global audience would be interested to watch. That was their first demand and their requirement when they are having the contract with the Korean creators. And then because during the COVID-19, it was difficult to get the investment, a lot of the Korean creators and producers got the investment from the OTT service such as Netflix, especially, and then like Disney or Amazon. And one thing that COFIC have seen is that thanks to Netflix, they were able to create the contents. But after that, there was no contribution to the Korean market. They're getting all the money, but where's the contribution back to the society so these creators can grow or more young talents can grow, right? So one thing that COFIC have requested the Netflix, which already done, is that, okay, so in order for the Korean market and the industry can grow after you generate the profit, can you please invest further to the market specifically instead of just giving the guarantee? Giving the guarantee is not enough in a long-term stance. So, and on top of that, not only giving the guarantee during the project creation, but when the movie is released and then they're receiving a long-term profit through their platform, can you also make a contract where those long-term profit can be given to the participants, the artists, and the creator? So in a long term, we're getting a win-win situation. So that was the requirement that the COFIC requested Netflix, and then that's where they made an MOU with the Netflix. So things that she wants to highlight it is that there were no such restriction or regulation that the OTT service was requesting to the Korean team. Instead, COFIC is trying to push them to say that, hey, you're getting a lot of benefit monetarily from the Korean creators. So this time you need to start investing for developing the talents. So in long term, we can get benefit from each other. Hope that answer your question.
좀 더 추가해서 설명을 드리자면 그 생각해 보니까 요구하는 게 있긴 있었어요. 생각해 보니까 뭐냐면 저희 많은 나라에서 하고 있는데 로케이션 인센티브 프로그램이라는 게 있습니다. 그게 뭐냐면 외국의 영화팀이 그 나라에 와서 영화를 찍으면 거기서 이제 쓴 비용이 있잖아요. 거기서 일부를 텍스 리펀드를 해주거나 현금으로 돌려주는 캐슈 리베이트를 해주는 그런 이제 프로그램이 있는데 저희도 있고요. 영진이에서 지금 운영을 하고 있는데 그거를 좀 많이 받고 싶다라고 이제 좀 플랫폼들에 와서 이제 저희한테 미팅을 요청하는 경우가 있었고요. 그 다음에 한 가지는 저희가 이 OTT 때문에 저희 그 정책적인 부분에 변화가 생긴 게 있어요. 법적으로 어떤 거냐면 등급을 분류하는 부분인데 그거를 이제 그 등급 분류는 저희 영진이가 하진 않고 영상물 등급위원회라는 데서 하거든요. 근데 이제 OTT 시리즈가 워낙 볼 게 많으니까 OTT 같은 경우에는 지금 자율 등급으로 하는 걸로 굳이 영상물 등급위원회를 거치지 않고 하는 걸로 지금 변경이 된 부분도 있습니다. 그렇게 해서 이제 이처럼 OTT가 굉장히 한국의 어떤 영화 산업이나 정책에 끼치는 영향이 있다는 거죠.
And there are two things that I just want to add on. I just realized that there are some requestments they made to us, which is one, there is this program called the Location Incentive Program, where that if the foreign movie creators come to Korea to shoot the movie, they can actually request for the tax refund or any cash deposit in return because they're coming to Korea and kind of promoting the Korea, right? And so they have been requesting that a lot. They want a lot of cash deposits or like tax refund. That was one thing that she remembered. Other thing is that, as you know, OTT service has different movies and drama with a different range. Like it can be R, like 12 or 15 or 18. So that is not decided by COVID. It's actually regulated by the other like legislative group. And because of that, the Korea had to change some policy where they allow the OTT service to have a more flexible range of movie like leveling. Yeah.
Rating.
Yeah. Right. Because previously you have to go through this council to get a rating. But now because we have changed the policy for this foreign platforms such as Netflix, they don't have to wait for the rating. They can release it because they have a freedom to do so. And that is one of the change that the Korea had to make an adjustment on the policy. Therefore, this group of the OTT service and the foreign movie creators can have more investment in Korea. So she wanted to highlight this kind of the political policy changes that happened because of the Netflix, Disney, and Amazon.
Thank you. I'm Chinggang from East Asian Institute.
Yes,
I hope I could. Yeah. So from the video you played just now, I learned that actually some Chinese content creators got your help and went to Korea to learn, to get some know-how from Korean drama industry. So from your assessment, to what extent do you think they have learned from the Korean drama and the film industry? And in the long run, do you think that if they got your skills or even improve based on that kind of knowledge, you think in the long term, the Chinese content creators can pose some kind of competition with Korean drama and film industry? Thank you.
같이 잘 되면 좋죠. 같이 잘 되면 좋은데, 중국 같은 경우에는 저는 아직 이제 저희 한국의 어떤 드라마나 영화를 따라오기는 아직 좀 힘들다라고 자신을 할 수 있는 게 방금 제가 프레젠테이션에도 말씀드렸지만 한국 영화가 발전할 수 있었던 가장 그 스타트 포인트, 출발점은 한국의 검열이 없어지고 그 영화계에 자유를 줬을 때이거든요. 근데 지금 중국은 굉장히 검열이 심하죠. 그리고 심지어 저는 가장 큰 문제점이 그 등급 분류를 안 한다는 거라고 생각하거든요. 그게 뭐냐면 아주 어린이부터 어른까지 그냥 다 볼 수 있는, 그러니까 아예 등급을 분류하지 않고 영화를 철저하게 검열하고 관리를 합니다. 통제를 하고. 그래서 그런 상황에서 어떤 테크니컬한 부분을 저희 이제 한국 드라마와 영화에 가져가서 많이 발전시키는 거 굉장히 중요하고 의미가 있고 하지만 어떤 지점에서는 그 중국의 정책적인 부분에 한계가 있기 때문에 아직은 저는 크게 걱정을 하지 않고 있다라는 말씀을 드리고 싶습니다.
Short answer is I'm not worried at all. Because it's great if both Chinese and Korean drama and movie get really well promoted and the audience love it. That is a great thing, which is one of the things she highlighted, right? That Korea and the Asia movie industry have to cooperate and collaborate together. So that's a great thing, but she foresee that technology-wise, yes, they are catching us up and they're doing a great job. So that one is a truth. But one of the things that she mentioned in presentation is that the starting point of the Korean movie was able to develop was because the government stopped restricting, but actually start supporting. And as you know, right now in China, there's a lot of control over the topics of the movies, who can do what. So that is the one thing that she foresee that not yet. And where her confidence is coming from, because the freedom and liberty and support from the government was the starting point of the Korea, and for China to catch up, they need to let it go. So, and that is one thing why she's like not so worried about it. Other thing was that in China there's no rating, and that means that anyone can watch movie, and like children can watch anything violent or something inappropriate, and which is also another reason why the regulation is strong in China. So unless these two things are solved, she foresee that it won't happen anytime soon.
China has no Korean Film Council and COFIC and Park Hee Seong. So I do not afraid about it.
Miss Park, so yes.
I believe we still have to wait until Marx Meet Confucius will become an international hit. I think it will be a local phenomenon. No, I'm not going to give it to Dr. Lam. He has the final word. Please, is one of our guests. Please.
Hello, thank you for your very interesting lecture. My name is Lobisha. I am a master's in public policy student at the LKY school. So my question is, as someone whose introduction to the Korean world is basically through these blockbusters such as Parasite and Squid Game, which paint a certain kind of picture of Korean society, a lot of which is based on social injustice, as was already highlighted by previous speakers. And I think one of the reasons they've also been able to, be such hits is this idea is relevant across the world, like social injustice in the world of now. But is there a worry at maybe the governmental level or the state level, because Korean films are a form of soft power, as was already said, that there is only a certain projection of Korean society that's been shown to the world at large. And because you do not regulate your cinema, which has been wonderful, and that's why we've been able to see all of these elements being depicted on screen. But is there any worry in how Korean society is being depicted at large?
아니요, 그런 걱정은 차이나 가버먼트가 하고 저희는 하지 않습니다. 그것도 한국의 그 진짜 모습이고요. 그리고 그게 편파적이라고 생각하지 않습니다. 그것도 조차 한국의 모습이기 때문에 그리고 한국의 관객들이 저는 굉장히 또 독특하다고 생각하는데요. 왜 그러냐면은 생각보다 굉장히 심각하고 정말 사회의 어두운 부분을 그려내고 그런 영화를 또 영화관에서 많이 봐요. 그래서 한국 영화관에 사람들이 많이 들기 위해서는 그런 어두운 면을 그린 영화들도 많이 나와야 되고, 저는 그게 결코 편협하게 한국을 이해할 수 있겠다고 생각하지 않습니다. 그래서 오히려 그런 부분에 대한 걱정은 하지 않고요. 많이 이렇게 알려지고 많이 보여지고 그러면서 또 사회적으로도 어떤 변화가 있을 수 있고요. 근데 제가 방금 말씀드렸던 영화 중에 그 오징어 게임 황동혁 감독이 만들었던 도간이라는 영화가 있는데, 이게 이제 그 장애인 학교에서 벌어진 어떤 그 폭력적인 사건들을 그린 영화인데, 이 영화를 계기로 해서 굉장히 사회적으로 큰 반향이 있었어요. 그래서 그런 부분에 제도적인 개선이 있었거든요. 그래서 저는 영화가 그런 기능을 하는 것이 굉장히 중요하고 중요한 키포인트라고 생각을 하고, 그 중국 영화가 발전할 수 없는 그런 원인 중에 하나가 중국 정부에서는 검열을 통해서 그런 부분이 영화에 담기지 않도록 굉장히 심하게 검열을 하거든요. 그래서 저는 그런 부분에 대해서는 정부 차원에서 전혀 걱정을 하지 않고 오히려 바람직하다라고 생각을 합니다.
So she's not concerned about that perspective of Korea being shown to the international world because she thinks that is part of the Korea. That is also who we are. Not only the good parts that you see from K-pop or any other positive drama, but also those kind of dark and like injustice is also part of Korea. And that's why she's not worried to show it, because that's the truth. We're not hiding it. And also, she also mentioned that the Korean audience is very unique, where they like to watch this kind of serious and dark topics that reveals the like dirty part of the society. That is one of the topics the Korean audience like. So in order to drag them, to attract them to the movie theater, it is necessary for the Korean directors and creators to cover this kind of topic, right? So they cannot stop doing it. Otherwise, Korean people will be like liars and stop watching. So that part is why she's not afraid of it. And also, second thing that she highlighted is that being shown through the movie actually creates a repel in society. Like people get to know about certain issues through the movies, and they start to realize that we need change. And this kind of changes actually affect and make changes in the policy. So one of the examples she brought it up is called The Silence, is a movie called Silence, and it's created by the director from the Squid Game. And what it covered, the topic, the movie is briefly about a disabled person. So it's a school with people with disability. And then actually certain like sexual abuse and abuses were actually happen in real life. And the director picked up the real story and made it into a movie. And people watched it and got shocked and started talking about it. And that brought the attention of the major audience. And they pushed for the changes in the policy, and the policy was changed. So she brought this as a positive case where like movie can actually make changes in life in a good way. And she thinks this is an important key point of being the movie, not only for the entertainment, but for the positive change of the world. And continuing and then connecting to your question, she said, because the Chinese government doesn't allow this through the censorship, therefore that is one of the reasons why maybe the movie industry might not grow as well, because this is very powerful and emotional tool, but the government is not allowing to grow. So she hoped that we will continue to create this kind of movie that implies important messages, heavy messages, but like truth throughout the movie and then impact people.
According to the statistics, Korea is actually quite an equal society compared to what you see in the movies in terms of income inequality and wealth inequality. But nevertheless, I mean, I think it is indeed a very powerful, and that's why maybe the contrast with China, because it's a very powerful medium, film and documentary. Final question. Keep it short because we're running out of time, and there is a class after this, and that goes before anything. Please take a mic and identify yourself. You need to push it.
Hi, Hi, I'm Joanne. I'm a year 2 student from NUS Law. And my question is regarding Dr. Park's first reply about how Netflix has placed a demand on Korean creators to create content that resonates on a global scale. So how have Korean creators balanced both the need to be authentic to their like culture and at the same time have something that resonates on a global scale? Thank you.
이게 답이 될지는 모르겠는데, 한때 이제 그 정부에서 한류라 그러죠. 코리안 웨이브를 막 이렇게 홍보하면서 이제 격려하면서 했던 말이 한국적인 것이 곧 세계적인 것이다. 라고 이제 하는 이제 그 슬로건이 있었는데요. 그게 이제 제가 알기로는 그 글로벌 플랫폼에서 창작자들한테 굉장히 디테일하게 뭔가를 간섭은 하지 않는 걸로 알고 있어요. 그래서 뭐 그런 밸런스나 이런 거를 잡는 부분에 대해서 잘 모르겠지만 제가 요새 느끼는 것은 굉장히 한국 사람들만 이해할 수 있는 내용이라고 했던 영화들이 외국 사람들이 너무 우리 얘긴데 내 얘긴데 하는 그런 콘텐츠들이 있더라고요. 그래서 예를 들면 기생충 같은 영화도 사실은 저희는 굉장히 그냥 한국 사람들이 이해할 수 있는 그런 콘텐츠라고 생각을 했는데 굉장히 자기 나라 얘기로 받아들이는 경우가 많이 있더라고요. 그래서 사실은 이제 한국의 창작자들이 이게 세계적으로 먹힐 거야. 이거는 뭐 한국적인 거를 좀 죽이자 이런 생각은 하지 않는 걸로 지금은 알고 있고 그냥 본인이 한국에서 살아온 사람으로서 하고 싶은 얘기들을 하는 걸로 알고 있고 굳이 그렇게 어떤 창작을 할 때 이걸 전 세계인들한테 먹히게 해야지 이렇게 하면서 만들지는 않는 걸로 알고 있습니다.
So she said unsure whether this can be a direct answer to your question, but she referred, or I'm talking from her perspective. So she referred to the part where previously when the K-wave first started in Korea, the government had the slogan, says, most Korean thing is the most global thing. So the more Korean we are, more global audience will accept it. That was a slogan, and she's bringing it back to here because what she's aware is that these global platforms, Netflix, they don't have a specific requirements and they don't put that much regulation to what kind of topic you should put or what kind of story and message you should put. Based on her awareness, there were no regulations like that. And actually, because of that, there were no like conflict between the balance between what you need to do for the global audience and what you need to say for being a Korean cultural thing. So her understanding is that there were no balance thing. And also, one thing she also recognized is that actually a lot of Korean people thought like, this is very Korean related topic. We don't think the global audience would understand. And the example was Parasite, because to us, it was very Korean society issue. But surprisingly, a lot of the global audience found it, oh my God, I relate to it. This is very applicable to our society as well. And through this like equation and the previous cases, I think the global platform has this understanding that let them say the message they want to say, because that way, most Korean thing is the most global thing. The global audience like whatever the Korean people wants to say through their method in the movie. So because of that, there were no like restriction on put less cultural thing, put less director's message in it, or like, oh my God, just do what you want to do. We support you. That has been the tendency of it, and therefore, she thinks like this might not be the direct answer, but so far, it has been going well.
Well, thank you all very much. This is unfortunately how much we have time for. Please join me once again in thanking Dr. Clark for her election. One advertisement, in case you want to study more Korean film. The Korean Film Festival is about to happen next week. And for the closing credit, we have Dr. Lam Peng-ah, if he doesn't ruin the mic, our head of the Korean Center. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope everyone had fun today. 한국 영화를 재밌어요. 좋아해요. Yeah, and of course, you have to thank our keynote speaker today, and also our directors, from Joma and fantastic Miss Chang. Miss Chang. And in her keynote, she reminded us the success, a very key success. Number one, she listed for Korean movies is actually audience. And for today, I think I have to thank audience, Singaporeans and all residents of Singapore are so busy, but you make your time to listen to this very wonderful event. And I have to thank EI Director for chairing today's meeting. I have to thank Republic of Korea Embassy in Singapore, Ms. Park Yuri, Councillor Park Yuri, and EAI Senior Manager of Administration, Mr. James Tan. They work very hard behind the scenes. Last but not least, I have to thank His Excellency Ambassador Chui Hun, because he had been a patron of the Korea Center at EAI. He came for the official launch by Singapore Minister of Foreign Affairs, Vivian Balakrishnan, Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, and he had given unflinching support to this incipient, this nascent Korea Center. And he'll be finishing his duty, his ambassadorial duty soon. So from the bottom of my heart, I would wish him every success, for a job well done, for nurturing closer, deeper and broader Republic of Korea-Singapore relations. So thank you, Your Excellency. Yeah. So with that, I call this session to a close. Thank you very much. And next year, I hope there'll be like Korean soft power on K-pop, and after that on explain Korean soccer, why Korean football, soccer is so successful in the world, Okay, thank you.